What meta-commentary is in modern cartoon villain parodies? Imagine watching a cartoon where the villain suddenly pauses and makes a joke about how cliché their evil plan sounds. That's the core of what meta-commentary is in modern cartoon villain parodies. It's when cartoons talk about their own villain tropes, often with humor and self-awareness. These parodies highlight how many villains follow the same predictable patterns. For example, villains explaining their entire plan aloud, even when they know the hero is nearby, is a common joke. It makes fun of how silly and over the top these scenes can be. These parodies also poke fun at villain motivations. Many classic villains want world domination or revenge, but in parodies, these goals are exaggerated or made trivial. This shows how some villains lack depth and are just there to serve the story. Parodies often mix different villain archetypes or put villains in silly situations. For instance, a parody might show a villain struggling with everyday problems, like losing their keys or getting stuck in traffic. This undermines their threatening image and makes them more relatable and funny. Self-referential humor is another big part. The cartoon might acknowledge that it's using familiar storytelling tricks. For example, characters might comment on how many times a villain has been defeated or joke about how villains always have a secret lair. This kind of humor makes viewers think about how stories are built and why certain villain traits are so common. It also questions audience expectations, like the idea that villains must always be defeated or that they exist only to oppose the hero. These parodies serve a bigger purpose. They keep the genre fresh by making fun of its own clichés. They also give villains more personality or even make them sympathetic characters. Sometimes, they show villains with relatable flaws or motives, which adds layers to the story. For viewers, this kind of humor encourages a more critical eye on storytelling. For creators, it's a chance to play with villain characters and make them more interesting. In the end, modern cartoon villain parodies use humor and self-awareness to comment on how villains are written and what makes them memorable. They invite us to laugh at the familiar while also thinking about what makes a villain truly compelling beyond just being evil.